Here we are with the great Emanuel Steward, who on March the 12th, I know you would like to be pulling double duty, but you can only be in one spot. At one time, we talked to you last time you were here about Cotto and my Oregon now, your other guy, Andy Lee. How's everything going training-wise for this fight?
Everything is going very well to the fight. Both Andy Lee preparing for his fight with McEwan and also Miguel Cotto in preparation for his fight with Cotto and Wladimir. As a matter of fact, Andy Lee, next week we'll start sparring with Chad Dawson, who will come down and spar with him. So it should be some good sparring sessions going on.
How difficult is it? I mean, I'm sure you've been around a long time, that you're going to be working with Andy, and you've been working with him for a few years now, that you won't be able to be there for him on the same night.
It's going to be very stressful for me to be having to be in Las Vegas and not being with Andy, who I not only am his trainer, but I'm his manager. And I've been with him his whole career, and he's a product of my amateur program in Ireland. So it's a frustrating situation, but I feel that Andy is very competent, capable of handling himself on the fight night. We went over it before. His greatest victory to date was his tremendous one-punch knockout over Carl Daniels, which was here in New York. And people forget that I was not there that night. I was doing HBO duty, and he performed just with my nephew, David Haye, who was working the corner. But Andy is a very seasoned guy. He lives with me in Detroit, in my home. So we spend a lot of time together. We're training together now in Florida with this fight. So we will only be just separated just the last 5 days. And he's prepared to handle himself.
Obviously, one of your main jobs, I guess, is to get a fighter to, I guess, peak at the right time. Is it easier or more difficult to have two guys peaking at, I guess, on the same day? Is it easier to do that?
It's not difficult to have two guys peaking at the same time. I'm president now, spending time with both Andy Lee and Miguel Cotto, and raising them to the point where they will peak at the exact right time. And that's a very important factor. You know, a peak is a peak. It's a point. And you reach that point and you can stay there so long. It's not like a platform.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to time it where you can be right at the right time, because in the next day or two even, you start sliding down because it's a point. And that's one of the things that I put a lot of pride in, being able to have the fighter peak physically and mentally and spiritually.
And it's easier to have two guys doing it at the same time, or?
Well, the way that I've trained, remember my program's a chronic. And we would sometimes have 5 world champions training at the same time in the heyday. So that's something I'm used to. I work better when I have a whole team instead of just one.
And then as soon as March 12th is done, you got Wladimir going again April 30th against an unknown Englishman named Chisora. Fighting against a guy, you know, who's 14 fights, not much is known about him. Is there a difficulty? Vladimir's fault. I mean, he's cleaned out the top 10. This guy, I guess, is outside the top 10. A little difficulty, maybe even getting a guy up or something like that.
No, Wladimir is a perfectionist. You know, it's one thing about him. That's why he's been the champion as long as he is. He takes every fight extremely serious, very detailed. The intensity that he brings into a training camp is unlike any that I've ever worked with. And I will be 1 week after the fight with Andy Lee and Miguel Cotto with Wladimir, and he and I on the phone, we've got the sparring partners lined up. Everything is in order. Everything is routine and detailed with him. He trains twice a day, which is unbelievable. And even on his off days, he'll swim almost non-stop for 1 full hour, which is unbelievable. But he'll be in great shape. The only thing that I worry about in a fight with Chisora, I think Chisora is going to be maybe the toughest opponent that Wladimir has faced in many years. He brings a different energy. He's a young, aggressive, physically strong guy with lots of confidence. Not the passive type of veteran guy that we have been fighting for the last 5 years. And I won't throw the names out, but you know the guys in the front. And it's a different energy. So I don't like the fact that the public is just saying the guy only has 14 fights and this and that. And I'm just hoping that Wladimir doesn't buy into that neither. That's my only concern in this fight. Because I figure he's going to be tougher than any fight that Vladimir's had in a long time.
How disappointed are you that this David Haye thing can't get worked out?
I'm very disappointed and frustrated with the David Haye situation, but it's something I've learned not to even worry about. If it's going to be, it'll be. And if not, I'm not going to worry too much about it. As far as I'm concerned, Wladimir feels that fight is still scheduled for July 2nd. He's got the leaders of block. Everything is said. It's David that said that if you take a fight with Chisora, I'm canceling the fight. But as far as Wladimir is concerned, the fight is on for July 2nd, provided he wins with Chisora.
You've been around a long time. Have you ever heard of a guy make 4, 5, 6 different excuses for ways out of fights that he already agreed to fight?
Well, David Haye is concerned about money. He's not concerned about pride or joy. He's a money person, and you see that. And good luck to him, but the things that he's did is amazing. He created a fight by drawing cartoons and cutting pictures of things out and talking. He never beaten anyone. He's never had a devastating victory over a marquee fighter ever. So I admire him for that. But then after he gets what he's built up for, then he walks away. So Wladimir said he's not going to just wait around on him. He's going to stay busy. And if David doesn't want to fight on July 2nd, he'll just go into a fight with Abrams.
Well, Emanuel, thank you so much, and we'll see you March 12th in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Thank you.